Hi, I'm Joji, and today is Tuesday, May 29, 2018. This is my journal number 13, so I hope it goes well even with the unlucky number. So here I am on a Tuesday. I tried to record last weekend, but it was a nice weekend. We had a lot of visits, so I couldn't do that. And normally I like to do that during the weekends because I can get the house a bit quieter, but I guess it will have to be a Tuesday. And yeah, it's been a really good week. For those of you watching my journal for the first time, I'm Joji. I'm a knitwear designer from Buenos Aires in Argentina, and I've been journaling since the beginning of this year. And this journal is mostly about knitting, although today we have a lot of sewing content, and I'll tell you more about that in a bit. But anyway, it's been a really good week, and I think also another reason why I didn't record this weekend is because I didn't have a lot of knitting to show, and that was making me a bit sad because I really like to share my progress with you. I like to tell you what I'm working on and how it's going, but for the whole 2018 I've been mostly designing and knitting for commissions and collaborations and other commitments that I had with dyers or companies or festivals or shows or friends. And yes, so I realized I was not journaling at all because everything that I've been working on is super secret and I cannot show you guys the progress. And also, all of the projects that I'm working on right now have been in my to-do list for a long time, right? So everything I'm knitting on right now, I already knew about these projects back in January, which means that I don't get any element of surprise. I don't get to be spontaneous and say, oh, I'm going to change this color for this one or that one. And that was kind of killing my knitting mojo. So to start with, I'm going to show you something that I cast on last night. I don't have any finished objects today to show you, but I have this new cast on. So last night, all I wanted to do was to sew, and I'm very happy with my sewing. And as you will see, I've been sewing a lot, and it's helping my creativity too, but I do need to knit for work. And also not just for work. I mean, I am a passionate knitter and I want to feel that passion again with all of my knitting projects. So I was thinking, why is sewing giving me so much joy compared to knitting? Why isn't knitting giving me that much joy? And then I decided, no, you know what? It's time for you to go to your stash and just take any yarn that you want to play with and just cast on impulsively something, whether it's going to be a design or not. Usually everything that I need becomes a design, but whether it's a design or not, it's not a problem. It's time for you to just go to your stash and knit something just because you picked those colors at that time. So I've been talking about how I've been going back to purple. In previous journals, I mentioned that a few years ago, or several years ago, I used to knit a lot of purple and gray. If you remember, probably by the time we first joined Ravelry, everyone was knitting purple and gray. Everything was purple and gray, and I was in that same mood, and I really love purple, but there was this time when I said, okay, enough purple. We're not going to knit purple ever again because everything I was working on was purple. And so I took a break from that to explore other colors. And then this year Pantone decided that the color of the year is ultraviolet. And I do I do feel that I get influenced by Pantone. I definitely look at trends in fashion, and I definitely look at what colors fashion labels are using for their collections and what colors dyers are dyeing in their pots. So I decided that I would start going back to purple, and first I went back to purple as in gray shades of purple or purple shades of gray. But yesterday I decided to go purple. So this is what I picked up from my stash. I picked up various skeins of yarn from different companies, and I cast on a new shawl. And I am not 100% sure how it will be. It's more like an organic design, so I think I'm going to design it as I go, but it's going to be a crescent and it will have a fade component. So there will be fading and it's going to be a crescent. So the yarns that I picked, all of them were gifts from dyers. Some of you asked me again why I can't receive parcels at home, and it's hard to explain, but in Argentina several years ago the government decided that they wouldn't allow parcels to go in the country without being stopped by customs, even if you send the parcel as a gift. So that means that we have to be registered to receive a parcel, and then we have to go through a very time-consuming process of almost like importing the yarn. It's not as in other countries where the mailman just brings you a customs form and you pay the tax. Here it's a lot more time-consuming, and many times we don't even get the parcels, or they take months to be released from customs, and it's also very expensive. So at the moment I just consider that I can't receive any yarn at home. So how do I get my yarn? I like to buy my yarn. I like to support small businesses, and I think that most yarn companies are owned by women who are entrepreneurs just like myself. So I like to buy my yarn, I like to choose the yarn and to support those dyers that I like. However, my scope, the range of yarns that I get to know just by exploring and just by browsing Instagram is very small. And I know that many times I just don't know about a fabulous dyer, and I can't really buy yarn from them if I don't know them, correct? So sometimes I travel, and then dyers who know that I have this problem, they perhaps bring me yarn or send me yarn to the hotel. I try to say no, because then I feel it's a commitment, and I feel that every time someone gives me something, even if they say it's without any commitments, deep within they still hope that I make something out of it, and that sort of makes me feel that I have even more commitments than I had. But all of these yarns have been acquired that way. So when I went to Canada, I met the lovely Julia. Julia is the dyer of Vivid Yarns, and I loved her yarn, but I hadn't been able to buy any of her yarn before going to Canada. So I was feeling a bit sad, and we met one evening for dinner, and she surprised me with these two skeins of her yarn. So I brought them home, and I know Julia was not expecting me to make anything out of them, but I really love them. And when I was going to use the purple, I decided that these yarns had to be in that combo. So if you love them as much as I do, these are her, what's the base? Signature fingering. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, so it's sock yarn. And the bottom colorway is called Stardust, and the top color is called Royal Purple. And these are like almost two ends of the spectrum that I picked. These other two skeins of yarn here, so beautiful, are these are Life in the Long Grass. So Caroline, the dyer, also knew I couldn't receive any yarn, and she knew that I was going to meet someone she could mail something to. So she surprised me sending several colors of her yarn, and I've used some of that in some sock designs, but I picked these two to go with Julia's. So this is Julia's yarn, Vivid Yarn, and this is Vivid Yarn too, and these two are Caroline's yarn, Life in the Long Grass. And these are her fine sock, 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon, same yardage, so it's probably the same base, which is very fortunate for me. And the colors that I am using are, the pink is called Artifact, and it's a dusty pink with speckles in every color that has some red, so orange, purple, even some blue, and some red, and some pinks. And then this one is crazier. This one is called, so the pink one was Artifact, and the fuchsia one is called Wild Rosebay. And this is Julia's yarn, Royal Purple. So these four skeins are sock weight yarn, 75% merino, 25% nylon. And the last one in my combo is a smaller skein because it's a mohair skein, but it has the same yardage. So this is an older skein that I purchased when I visited Berlin Knits. And this is 75% silk. I thought it was mohair. It's not mohair. It's 75% silk, 25% cashmere. And I posted yesterday that it was mohair, but it's not. It's just very fuzzy, fluffy mohair, cashmere. So silk and cashmere. It was more luxurious than I thought. So I have several of these skeins at home, and my initial idea was to, let's see, I was going to strand, so I was going to carry a strand of the, sorry, I'm all over the place. This is 75% silk, 25% cashmere from Dye for Yarn, sorry. And the color is called Memory of a Fearsome Tale. Now we're talking. So I was going to carry the Memory of a Fearsome Tale together with a strand of all of the other colors, because I think I have 4 of these. But I swatched, or I began my design carrying the white and the purple, and it was looking too marled. So what I mean is that the white yarn has very subtle, beautiful speckles, and the purple yarn was eating up that effect. Like, all you could see was the marling. You couldn't see how beautifully dyed the white yarn was. So I decided not to do that. So what I might do is I might just do a fade. I might just do a fade like this with all my sock yarn, like this, and then finish with a, I thought it was going to be a mohair edge, but it's going to be a cashmere edge. So I could finish with a cashmere edge, like that, or I could add a stripe in of the like darker purple. I could add a stripe in between all of these colors. I am not yet completely decided. So, but I'm happy with the beginning. Let me show you. I am using a garter stitch base, For my shawl, this is the right side, and I'm doing a nightlet edge, and this is going to be very wide and not so deep, so very wide and a bit shallow. So I'm doing more increases than for other designs, like Party on my needles is not so wide, it's a bit narrower and has the same depth, if that makes sense. Oof, I'm really not organized today. I have a lot to talk about. I want to talk about a lot of things, and I haven't prepared really well for this podcast before recording, so I might stop the video to go check some notes and then come back. Sorry if I have to do that. My other work in progress is, okay, so I said that I didn't have a finished object, but technically I have a finished sock. But it's not a finished object, it's a half object. So, I finished one of my test knit socks. I am test knitting this for Tracie from the Grocery Girls. And yeah, there we go. So you can see I don't have sock blockers. Perhaps one day I will have. And I can show you my socks in some other way, but in the meantime, I think this is pretty good. These are called the Galliano socks, and I think Tracie will have the pattern soon for everyone. And yeah, so I started the second sock. This is my second sock. And yeah, so this is what I knit when I have to bring my knitting somewhere, when I have to like go to school. I've been going to school a lot. We've been looking at secondary schools for my eldest son, which is unbelievable. I can't believe he's so big. He's 11 now, so he's in 6th grade, and he still has to do 7th grade of his primary school, and then we will change him to the secondary school. But I really can't believe we're already looking into middle schools for him. Anyway, I'm using this beautiful yarn in this golden color, which is not so beautiful on the screen, but I posted a photo of it on Instagram. And this is the Copper Corgi yarn Jones Street Sport in the goldenrod colorway. So yeah, so these are almost, no, they're not almost done. Who am I kidding? This is going to take me a long time to finish the second one. But I did fulfill my test knitting duties because I finished one before the pattern was published, and I sent Tracie all my notes, which weren't really many. She did an amazing job writing the pattern in the first place. It's a really well written pattern, and I had a lot of fun reading from her instructions, and I'm sure you will enjoy it so much, because I know many of you are also waiting for this pattern from Tracie. So, and then okay, technically I showed you this last week, but I didn't show it to you blocked. This is the tank top that I designed for Madelinetosh in their work sock yarn, which is a sport weight. And Mom is making a twin top in fingering Tosh Merino Light. But I wanted to show this to you because I sent it out for test knitting yesterday, so that means that soon we will have a finished pattern to send to Madelinetosh. This has a short row shoulder, which is my favorite kind of shoulder with a drop sleeve, but it's just tiny opening with garter stitch. You don't even have to finish these openings for the arms. And then my favorite detail is this high-low hem, So it's a bit shorter on the front than it is on the back. And as I showed you last week, I think today you can see that a bit more, but the top skein is a bit lighter than the bottom skein, so it almost looks like a fade. But yeah, it's just the same yarn, just a darker skein in the bottom. And then the featured pattern for today, I showed this to you so many times, but finally last week I published my Like a Cloud pattern. I'm going to put it on. This is a cardigan that I designed for Helen's Curious Handmade retreat. And yeah, there we go. I'm not sure that my choice of top is the best for this color, but it kind of works. And so this pattern is sorry about that, it's super easy. It doesn't have any shoulder shaping, it's just a straight cast on and then knitting towards the back and knitting towards the front. You don't have to do any sort of shaping. The texture pattern is really easy. And then you just pick up the stitches and knit the sleeves, which are also almost straight. And there's no waist shaping. It's really easy to knit and to fit, because it has positive ease and because the pattern has this elastic tendency. I found that this size, the medium, fit a lot of people at the retreat where they could try it on. So yes, so I hope you like this. I hope you give it a try. It's beginner friendly because you don't even have to pick up stitches to work any button bands or front bands. It's just because the nature of the stitch keeps it from rolling, you can just leave it unfinished like that. So this is this week's pattern feature. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. I published it last Thursday, I believe, and it was a big success, so I am truly grateful for that. I can't ask for more support really than you guys give me. I feel truly blessed to be able to do what I do for a living, and it gives me so much joy every time you pick one of my patterns to knit from, and every time you support what I do by getting them. So thank you so much. And to finish our knitting section, we have a giveaway. So, oops, sorry, it's going to be very messy. There you go. So last week I told you about this project bag that Bird Street UK gifted the podcast. So I asked you to go to Ravelry group and to leave a message there. Thank you so much. I didn't expect such an audience to participate, but it was incredible. I wanted to reply all of your messages on my group, but then it wouldn't, I couldn't do that because we were keeping it a non-chat thread so that everyone had one chance to win the bag. So yes. So let's see. We had, oh goodness, 300. Oops. Let me see, I had it open here. We have 388 posts, including mine. So I'm going to enter from 2 to 388 in my random number generator. And I'm going to generate a winner. Winner is number 223. So let's see who's that. 223. It's my Yusha. She says, well, hello, you were right at at minute 50:03. You're truly amazing. Thanks for your journals, Koki. Thank you, Mayusha. So please, I'm going to contact you on Ravelry, Maya, to let you know that you won, but if you see this before I do, please send me your mailing address and I will be sending this beautiful project bag by Bird Street UK to you. Thank you everyone who participated in the giveaway. I don't think I'm deserving of all of your comments, but I do appreciate them very much. Okay. So, what's next? Yes, I want to talk to you about a friend's books. So, back in January, I was contacted by Jen from, let's see, I don't want to pronounce, it's Arnall-Culliford, I think that's how you pronounce it. But Jen is a British designer and tech editor, and she also makes books, and she has a really great project where she contacts designers and asks them to design something using a specific technique, and then she creates these amazing tutorials with photos that explain the technique that this designer is using. And I don't mean like the Indian cross stitch, where it's a very fiddly technique and you sort of need a visual aid sometimes. I mean even the simpler techniques, like how to do a yarn over, how to do a cable crossing, how to do a short row. And now that I'm sewing, I find that I really need those visual aids, and I can place myself back in the beginner role. I often wonder who reads these patterns with these tutorials, what kind of knitter uses these books. Do we have still an audience for books for beginners? Or is it that the whole knitting community has now become super expert and we have nothing to teach anyone to? And yes, placing myself in that role of beginner sewist, I can see how we have new knitters all the time, and we have the need for visual aid for them, and perhaps someone hasn't been able or hasn't been brave enough to try a cable design because they just don't know what it is to move 2 stitches to the cable needle and hold that needle in the front or in the back, and then knit from 2 from the cable needle and 2 from the back, etc. You know what I mean. Anyway, Jen, what Jen does is she asks designers to come up with any design, and then she provides the tutorial background for that design, which is amazing. And she asked me to collaborate with her for a future publication. I can't talk about that, and it's not what I'm talking about today, but we started working together, and then she proved to be a really cheerful and really warm, kind person, and I feel very touched by warm, kind people who smile a lot. Especially I really like people who smile a lot, and I watched a couple of interviews where she was talking about what she does, and I thought she was really sweet, so I was very excited to work with her. And Jen was also so sweet to come to Bath when we had the Curious Handmade retreat. There was this time where people could come, and there was a meet and greet going on, and she surprised me by dropping and stopping by at the retreat, and I had the chance to meet her in person, and she's just like that. She's happy and cheerful and smiley. So she told me about this new project that she was working on, and I offered to tell you about this project here in the journal. So that's why I'm talking about Jen's designs and projects, because I think she's a really great person and I wanted to feature her here in the journal. So I'm really bad at doing reviews where I show you parts of the publication, but I will ask you to go and check out Jen's designs, and I'm going to, for the first time ever in the journal, I'm going to put her name here in the down bar, so you can check her out on Ravelry. And so back in March of this year, Jen published an ebook called Something New to Learn About Cables, and in this ebook you will find 5 patterns by designers like Rachel Coby, for example. So you can find all of these designs, and with each design you learn something new about cables. For example, for Rachel Coby's hat, you learn how to cable without a cable needle. And let's see what else. And there was another technique, but I want to show you. Let me see if I can open this ebook to show you how it's done. Okay, that took longer than I anticipated. So this is Rachel Coby's design, and what I love about this book is the tutorial part of it. I am a photo tutorial type of person. I know many people prefer to see a video. I just can't stand learning from a video. I don't like to pause and do things and then rewind or go back and then play it again. And many times I'm like, okay, show me what I need to know. Where's what I need to know? So I love a good photo tutorial, and I'm always looking for those, whatever I'm trying to learn, whether it's something that has to do with crafting with the boys, or something, a new technique for knitting, or now something that has to do with sewing. I prefer photo tutorials, because then you can look at one slide and then do that in your work, and then look at the next slide, and everything is organized. So today, before talking about these books, I wanted to see what Jen's work looked like, so that I could speak about it more honestly, and I think it's fabulous. I think it's really something that I would recommend to any friend who wants to learn how to cable in that case. So this book is called Something New to Learn About Cables, and I will add a lot of links to the show notes. And then Jen also told me that she's working, or she has finished a new publication called Something New to Learn About Lace, and you can pre-order that, and these are ebooks or print versions. So I didn't know this until today when I reread Jen's email, but Jen has set up a discount code if you want to buy anything from their shop. So the code is Joji sent me 10, and it will give you 10% off any of the products in the lace or cables collections, and the code will be valid for 2 weeks. So that was my very honest review about Jen's work. I wouldn't do it if I didn't think it's really something that I would recommend. I don't like to review things that I wouldn't get myself, and the discount is just an added bonus for you, but I think it's a really, really good book, or books. So yeah, so that's it about knitting, and now today I have a really, really big section about sewing. I've been sewing all the things. So I will start by showing you what I'm wearing today. I should probably iron it a bit better, but it's okay. This is the Maya top by Marilla Walker, and as I mentioned last week, I'm looking for the perfect t-shirt pattern that I can use for any fabric that I buy, that I impulse buy. So last week I had tried a new look pattern, and I showed you that the neckline was too wide. It was probably this wide, and I did a pattern swap with Marilla Walker, and she sent me this one called the Maya top, and it has also the option to make this a dress, and I love it, and I think it's fantastic, and I tried it as soon as I could, and I'm now eager to make another one of these tops. So I'm going to stand up to show it to you. The top, I'm wearing black trousers today, but I think it would go really well with jeans too. And the pattern has the option to make it with a split round hem or with a straight hem. I think I used the size 4. If I remember correctly, I did mention what size I used in my Instagram post. If this is the first time you watch the journal, I have also an Instagram sewing account called @Joji. So I used the size 4, and I think the size is just perfect. It's a boxy sweater. I could have used the size 3, but I'm really comfortable with the size 4, so if I make it again, I'm going to repeat this size. So the pattern has facing instead of a bias tape for the neckband and the sleeve opening, and you have to do top stitching on in a very visible way, so it's very like it draws the eye to this area, but I think I did a pretty good job, even if it has that wrinkle there. I think I'm very satisfied with my top stitching here, and also it has the same top stitching here on the sleeves. I did a better job at buying the matching thread this time, and I think it gives the top a really neat finish look. So I really am in love with this pattern. Compared to the new look pattern, it was a completely different experience. Marilla's pattern sort of holds your hand through the process of sewing the garment. She tells you when to finish a seam and how to finish a seam, or when to press or not to press. And it's just different, completely different kind of pattern. So I'm really happy. Oh, and also the side seams for the, let me show you this side. It looks better. So the side seams have French seams, so it would keep the fabric from fraying like it did here, because I didn't do a good job at hiding my seams. So yes, I'm going to be making more of this. Thank you so much, Marilla, for the pattern. I really enjoyed it, and I love it, and I'm very proud wearing my new top. This is some sort of fabric that I bought at the local market. My friend Ali and I were hunting for canvas to make the other project that I'm going to show you soon. And I just saw this and I thought, okay, I think I can wear this print even if it has print, and even if it's like a bold, for me, pattern, and even if it's colorful. I really like this shade of yellow, so I feel very comfortable wearing this. I don't feel it's too much, which is a surprise. And then my sister-in-law Romy, she saw this top and she really liked it, so she asked me to make her one for her birthday. So I bought the same fabric but in navy blue. It has like the opposite color scheme, and she tried it on and the size fits her. So I'm going to use the same size, which is a great thing when you don't have to cut the pattern again, trace the pattern again and cut it again for someone else. It's a really good thing because it saves me. I'm very slow. With every step of the sewing, I'm very slow. So it saves me a couple of hours if I don't have to trace this pattern again. And then, yeah, so again, my top, first finished object. And this is a secret. One of the reasons why I wasn't journaling this weekend is because I have today my son's Sebi birthday gift that I made him, and I didn't want him to see it, but I'm journaling today. He's downstairs, so if I hear him coming upstairs, I will have to stop the video and continue after he goes downstairs. But I made him a backpack. I finally made him the backpack that started all the waxing canvas craziness. So yes, I had told you that I wanted to try to make things that I really liked with my own materials, and I had mentioned also previously that in Argentina you can't buy wax canvas, so I had been looking at some tutorials on YouTube on how to wax your own canvas. So that's what I did. My son Sebi helped me wax this beautiful black canvas, and then I used the range backpack pattern to make Sebi this pack for his birthday. So I'm very proud of this. I would wear this very, very happily, but I think that he will really like it, so I don't think that will be necessary. So modifications that I did was I forgot to buy, when I was buying my materials, I forgot to buy the sliders for the straps. So the ones that will help you adjust the pack. So I just sewed the straps together like this, and I just measured my own back, and I think it will be okay. And yeah, so that's one of the modifications I made. Then I used some leather to do the this handle, and also I did a buckle closure, and my friend knew, she gifted me these rivets that I tried to put into place with a hammer, and it didn't work so great, but they're stable. I can hold the bag and it won't they won't come off, but they don't look so so tidy, but it's okay. I know Sebi will love it. And yes, and also it was my first time ever sewing a zipper, so the experience wasn't terrible at all. And yeah, okay, so regarding the pattern, again, this is truly proud of this make. As you can see, proud mama. The pattern is really great. It's called the Range Backpack, and it's by Noodlehead. And what can I say? I'm going to do an honest review of the pattern. My first reaction to it was so many materials and so many pieces, and it doesn't have any templates that you can cut off and like put against your fabric. I don't have a rotary cutter. I bought one now, but I don't have a rotary cutter, so I had to mark all my fabric with a pencil or with chalk and then cut, and it took me so long to cut all the pieces. Really, there are so many pieces to this backpack, and I have to say I was a bit disappointed when I started because I thought I would never make it. However, the pattern is brilliant, and the fact that it has so many pieces, I think it's to make your work easier. And there's no way that I didn't think in a million years that I would make something that looks that cool with the little knowledge that I have. So all the credit of that backpack goes to the designer. Your pattern is amazing, and I had no idea how to sew a zipper even. And in one day I had a finished backpack that looks like something I would buy from a store. So yeah, it's a great pattern. I recommend it 150%. It's really, really great. I am hesitant to make it again just because it's so much work to cut and to put it together. But seriously, the look of the backpack, it's worth $1,000,000. Really, it's super, super great. Perhaps one day when I recover from all that cutting and putting together, I will make another one for my other child. And yeah, so that's the range backpack. I made a lot of things this week. Then I don't think I showed this one on Instagram, but this weekend I had another dinner party, so I made a new trapeze dress. This one is a bit more casual than the other one that I had made with black linen. So I decided to top stitch the neckline to make it look not so dressy. The sleeve hem and the bottom hem have also been top stitched. I used local cheap denim fabric that is chambray, I think. So it's like shirt material, it's light. And the only thing I wish I knew how to do better is the easing of the sleeves, because I still get these tiny folds, which are okay because I'm a girl and it's okay to have a sleeve that looks a bit rushed. But I don't think that if I made something for my children that they would like this effect. So, but yes, I mean, I think I should have 100 of these trapeze dresses because I want to wear that all the time. The other thing that I made, as you can see, I've been very, very busy because I hadn't been knitting on things that I loved. Is I am meeting a friend next month, and I made her my own version of the Fringe bag. Yeah. So this is by no means the same style of bag. The fabric that I use is very light, and I didn't add interfacing to this part. It's a really, really cheap version. Of course, it doesn't have any leather. It has cotton webbing, and I use scraps of printed cotton fabric to add a couple of just simple pockets for scissors or a tin with stitch markers. So the base and the pockets have some interfacing, and the rest of the fabric is really flimsy so that she can just toss it in her own purse. So that's for my good friend, who I am not going to say who she is to not ruin the surprise. Oof! And the last thing is not a finished object. It's something that I wanted to share with you guys because I need support and I really need some words of encouragement and some advice. So on Sunday, you might have seen on Instagram that my friend Alma, who is 10 years old, she visited me and I taught her how I used my sewing machine, and then we made a little handbag together, and she was very, very pleased, and it was a very nice moment for both of us and for her mother too. Anyway, Alma is soon going to be turning 10 years old, and also that same day she is getting baptized or christened. This is a very special ceremony for her and for her family, and we're invited to the celebration. So I don't sew for anyone by request, but I offered her if she wanted me to sew something to gift to her. I was not meaning as in something to wear that day. I was meaning she was wearing something that I had made her. So I said, would you like me to gift you something also that I made for you? And she was a bit shy about it and she didn't want to say much. And eventually my friend, her mother, she says, well, we would really like you to make her a little short jacket to wear with her dress for the ceremony. And I told her, like, you know, I don't know how to do that. I don't know yet how to make a buttonhole. My sewing skills, I'm very enthusiastic, but it's a lot of responsibility. And she was like, oh, we're certain you can make it. You're the best. And I said, well, but it would be a line jacket. I don't know how to line a jacket. And my friend was like, oh, no, don't worry. You don't have to line it. Just a little short something tailored. And oh my goodness, I was starting to panic. And eventually I realized my friend really expected me or would really like me to do this for them. And so I said yes. I said I'll do it and I'll do my best. And then I freaked out because I didn't know any kids patterns or, I mean, short jackets, it's not something that I would normally wear. So I hadn't been looking at any patterns for something like that. And also everywhere in the US and in Europe, everyone's entering the summer. So people are not really sewing coats or jackets. So I haven't been seeing any of those on Instagram, on the accounts that I follow on Instagram. So I was a bit overwhelmed by the request. And the first thing I did is I chose a pattern and I got some recommendations on Instagram. But the truth is that my friend Alma has a bust measurement of 34 inches, so she won't fit most of the kids' patterns. She's more like a women's small, even though she's very short. And some patterns just wouldn't fit the occasion or a child's style, right? So I picked a pattern, and then yesterday I went to the fabric district again, trying to find something suitable for her. It's very difficult to buy fabric where we are because fabric tend to be a bit tacky and not something very elegant. But I managed to find something that I think will look nice for her. It was very hard to find, and it took me a long time visiting hundreds of stores. But I bought this velvet. It's a print velvet. I don't know if you can see the texture. This is just fluff. Yes. And then I wanted to make it a bit more girly. So I bought this pink satin for the lining. Yes, and then I picked a pattern by Burda. I picked a jacket from 101 jacket from Burda number 3 of 2017. That's how I found it. I purchased it online and I downloaded the PDF and I put together all the pieces. And I was very, very scared to cut the good fabric, because Burda doesn't give you any instructions at all. It's same as New Look, almost like, okay, cut the fabric and sew the pieces, and then you're done. And so I decided I would do a muslin for my friend, and to see if she liked the style and the size that we picked was okay. So this thing that I have here is that muslin. The fabric you might find funny. It's this is interfacing that I bought by mistake, thinking it was fusible interfacing, and it's not. It's just regular cheap interfacing. So I had 3 meters of these just lying around, and I thought, okay, I'm going to use it to make her a jacket. And I tried it on her today, and she thought this was a jacket, and that I had made her like a leather jacket, which was adorable. She was even happy with this. She's adorable. Anyway, I made this muslin. It has bust darts, and of course I didn't line the muslin because I was just making it to make sure that she liked the style and the size. The hem is not supposed to look like this. Of course it will be an invisible hem, and it's a darted sleeve. So the pattern, I made this muslin really quick, and the pattern would be very easy to make if it wasn't for the fact that the jacket has to be lined, and I'm scared to death about that. The only positive thing is that I went to her house today, and I showed her the muslin and I tried it on her, and this was her reaction. So I'm very, very pleased with the fit. At least I think I picked the right size, and she seems to be very happy with the style, and I think it will look really, it looks a bit like a grown-up woman's jacket now because it's black and it's a bit sturdy, but I think that with the floral print and with a softer fabric, it will look great on my friend Alma. So wish me luck. I think I'm going to cut through the good fabric today. And I have no idea how to line a jacket. I know it's a process, and I've been looking at some tutorials. I especially value those that aren't a video. I prefer those that are photos. So I found a few, and my concern is that I won't get the sleeve length correctly. So my option would be to just line the body of the jacket and leave the sleeves unlined, so that then if the mother needs to bring the hem down a bit when she grows up, then she can do that. That's what I'm thinking of doing right now. I would love to hear your input regarding this, whether you think that I should still line the sleeves, if there's a very good reason for that. And yeah, any word of encouragement that you have for me regarding this jacket will be very appreciated. This is something that I'm going to do with my whole heart, and it's for a very special lady, for a very special day. So yeah. So that's it for today. I don't think I have anything else to show you, but I hope I will catch up with you this weekend, hopefully with some more knitting and some more sewing updates. And thank you for watching. Bye!